Hello everyone, Anita here and welcome to part 2 of the first week video for the 52 weeks illustration challenge 2016. So today we're doing the line art for the picture. Is the least exciting part of the three. So probably for the most part you're gonna be just listening to some music because there isn't really that much to tell about this. For me personally, making the line art is about refining the picture and kind of setting it into the paper. It's not really part of the picture per se. I don't really see it as part of the art. It's very hard to explain, to be honest. It's just something necessary for me in the process of creating, but I don't really pay that much attention to it. It's just at the time of making the line art, I'm just thinking, okay, is this what the final picture will look like? If these are the details that are going to be there in the final version, do I still want to add anything? And this is the moment for final decisions. After this point, I never really add anything anymore, except maybe in the white details, so maybe some strands of hair or some extra lace, little things like that. But by this time I really have the whole form of the picture already set in my mind, so I'm not going to be changing anything else. So I'm changing the camera setting quite drastically over the course of drawing, just because I've noticed that most of the time you can't even see what I'm doing. So I tried playing a little bit with the camera angles and with the paper angle, and so if you see any cuts, it's probably just adjusting the camera. And I try to make those parts like a bit speed up so that you can actually see it, but it made me nauseous just looking at all the shaking. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna spare you the pain of watching that. I'm just going to skip it. There's not really anything that much interesting, just a lot of shaking. So I'm kind of fighting with myself, as in the sketch part, with adding details. I really want to add more more to the lace. If this picture was bigger, this lace would definitely be much more elaborate, and I'm actually thinking, and I remember thinking at that point as well, about just drawing another version of this painting, just so that I could play with the dress a bit more, because the adding the details is the most fun for me. But at the same time, this is also my biggest struggle. Most of the time those details are not even necessary to the finished picture. What I wanted to create here was a feeling, was a situation, and that little bit of lace detail is not necessary for the viewer to understand what's happening in the picture. So I need to learn, and that will be a big goal for this year for me and for this challenge as well. I need to learn how to control myself and how to choose which parts are important and which I can just skip. And I'm actually taking a conscious effort to do that. And this is also part of me just trying to draw better, because you probably know, I probably talked about it, that I'm self-taught, and I've never went to any school. I've never had a teacher or a person who would tell me, okay, this is what you should do to get better. So most of the time I'm just noticing myself what I need to improve, like of course then I'm taking a very conscious effort to ignore that because I'm lazy. But there are just some things that are important to me, and I feel that I can't just live without. And one of those things was just that I was too consumed into perfecting every single detail. And that's not important. That's really not necessarily. The picture will be just as beautiful if I don't spend 10 hours on that, let's say, that one little piece of lace. Another thing that I really want to start doing is actually working on anatomy. I don't really care much about anatomy as long as it makes sense. I don't feel that it has to be I can't even pronounce that, okay? That's how much I care. Anatomically correct. Yeah, that's it. And the only thing I would like to improve on is drawing hands. Just because sometimes when I do personal pieces like this one, I don't really care. As long as the idea is there, I don't need it. I don't need all the fingers to be in perfect position. I don't need the fingers to be there at all. But when I'm doing other projects or projects for other people, I know that they do care, and I just know that this is the lazy way out. This is not a part of my style, this is just me being lazy, so I need to work on that. And I was realizing this while I was painting here, and I've noticed that I've done this again. I skipped drawing hands, and instead I just painted just normal like shapes. Instead of fingers and gesture, I just drew shapes. And it's not that much of a deal. This painting is small anyway, so I wouldn't be able to even put a whole hand. But just the knowledge that I took an easy way out was enough for me. So I'll work on that. Because as you can see here, I'm adding a lot of detail into the braids. Because that's the details in hair is important to me. And I think the other... hands can bring so much emotion into the picture, and that's something I really would like to get better at this year. So this was also the moment when I was thinking, how are they actually positioned in that room? I mean, it's supposed to look like the girl is standing in front of the woman, of course, and the woman is kind of close by the girl. As you can see, she's enveloped, surrounded by the dress, because, the dress is very fluffy. But then I realized that when you look at how they're sitting, it either looks as if the woman is kind of too much, like she's leaning too much towards the front. She wouldn't be able to actually to support herself like vertically. It looks so weird. Or the girl is actually flying. That's another thing. And then I remembered that in the original idea, the girl was actually standing on top of a little stool. And here I can't add this anymore, because if you think about how even her legs are really short, it's not possible to add it anymore anywhere. You won't be able to see it, even if there is a chair or a little stool and somewhere underneath the dress. But it kind of started bothering me when I noticed it. Once I notice it, it bothers me. Same in the previous video I've made, the Cooking Dead video. In one of the comments, someone mentioned that one of the poles was missing, like it wasn't continuing behind the car. And once I've noticed it, I just couldn't stop looking at it. It was just there. It was drawing in my eye, and the same here. I just can't stop looking at it. So it's kind of funny how things work, because I'm not noticing anything I've done well. Like, I was very happy with how the dress came out, for example. But no, the only thing I've noticed was the thing I've done wrong. I had a bit of a problem with all the items in the box. I remember thinking, what do I actually put in the box? As you can see here, I'm putting a ball of yarn. And that's because this box is really small. And then we are coming back to that topic yet again. Anything found in that little box will be even tinier. And it would require me to put even more detail, which would you can already see that compared to the other parts of this picture, that box, there's just too much going on in it. And so I was thinking, okay, what can I do? I will add some lace. The lace is good. Lace is just a strip of fabric. And then, okay, yarn. It's just a ball. And then the spool of thread. It's big enough, I can add it. But it was quite funny how I was struggling with it the whole time. I'm really happy with how the feathers came out. They actually look like feathers, even though they also look like palm leaves, like those fluffy palm leaves. But I figured that feathers would be brownish and, palm leaves would be green, so I still have it. I can still do something with it. For me, drawing is most of the time just convincing myself that whatever I put on the paper is acceptable, and it's kind of like compromising with yourself. I think that this is I had it for a while, this kind of problem where I would just think that something was not good enough. And I have still a big stash of painting from about 2 years ago, which I have just scrapped. I just tore them apart and just put them away and never came back to them. Even though now that I look at them, they're not that bad. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just, for example, one thing that didn't work out exactly as I wanted it, and I just gave up, and that's so stupid. It's amazingly stupid now that I think about it. I've learned since then that, just because something doesn't go your way doesn't mean that, the painting is completely wasted. You just keep trying, and if by the end of it, once you've tried everything and the painting is finished and you don't like it, then it's okay to, rip it up. But most of the time, even if you don't like it, someone will. So, yeah. Oh, I love drawing fluffy carpets. That's one of the things that I've learned kind of by chance, that adding some texture to the line like this makes the carpet look really fluffy. Before I would normally use just a straight line, so a circle with a straight line, and the end product would just look, you know, regular, straight. But once I replaced that straight line with some of that, you know, those scribbles, it immediately looked like the whole carpet became more fluffy. Yeah, this is one of those situations where, you know, things did not work out as I wanted to. My hand was shaking really badly. I am kind of going through a cold and I wasn't feeling that well, and I was messing those lines. Look how much they differ from what I actually drew with the pencil. But do I, you know, scrape the whole painting? No, I don't. I just go with it. Once I, you know, and I can't find my words. Once I erase the pencil lines, you know, everything will be fine. It's like nothing ever happened that was not supposed to. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling with drawing the mirror. The lines, they just look so bad, so wonky. But yet again, I'm not really paying attention to that in the final picture. And also, you know, if one line was wonky, perhaps that would bother me more. But there is plenty of those wonky lines that just drew a lot of those straight vertical lines that turned out to be extremely wonky. And it looks like it matches together. It doesn't look that bad anymore, because, you know, if one of them was bad, then that would stand out. And let's take a moment now to kind of look at my hair. What is happening there? I don't even remember. Oh, I had my hair down. Never mind. Oh my god. And now I'm going to show you how rough I am with my paper when I erase the lines. And surprisingly, because I used to think that only arches could take it, and this is Fabriano, the Fabriano substitute that I've bought recently, and it's taking it really well. I mean, this is a good eraser, but still, the paper nothing happened to it. You can usually see when you erase too much, there is this weird texture over the paper, and that was not the case. And poof, all of a sudden all the little thingies are gone. That actually concludes this part, and we will be painting next, so I will see you in the next video. Bye!